Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pouring Takes. Today is June 30th, 2025. I'm here with Charlie and Rhea and Brandon and Tanner. Take it away, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Pouring Takes podcast. I am Charlie Van. We are here at Underdog Restaurant and Sports Club. Joining me always, my kick-ass co-host, Rhea. Rhea, how are you?
I'm good. Just, sipping on some Sauvignon.
Some Savi B. Is that what it's called? Savi?
Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, there you go.
Abbreviated to Sauvignon.
I thought like Savi B was like a character on Love Island or something like that.
You know what? You would know better than me. I'm not watching Love Island. I'm not there. And, of course, Brandon, back with us again, Mr. Baseball expert. What was the first thing I said to you when I walked in?
I thought about you all day yesterday as I'm at the ballpark.
There you go.
How sweet.
I
That's
know.
me.
Top of mind.
Always.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And also our producer, Tanner.
Hey.
Rocking it.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad to be here.
Love your shirt. Very
Thanks, man.
paradise.
Very summer.
Oh, yeah. I'm on permanent vacation, bro.
There you go.
Very jealous.
I shouldn't have to be retired in order to dress like a retiree in Florida.
No.
No?
Well, you are in Texas.
You are very Florida man.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
You
pretty
just need
Florida
your,
man today.
you know what? You're very dad rock or very
Yacht rock.
Yacht rock.
Yacht
Oh,
rock.
he is
Yeah.
100%.
I can get behind yacht rock. Dad rock, maybe not so much.
But we are glad to be back here. Took a little bit of break. Wait, Tanner, how was New Orleans?
Dude, okay, all we did was venture around New Orleans and follow the smell and the sounds.
Not the smells.
Oh, dude.
I
Do
mean,
the smells lead you to some cool things?
There's so much good food in the air all the time.
Yeah.
New Orleans
So we
has
just
good
rolled
food.
up into whatever.
What was your
And-
favorite snack?
I had about 5 different flavors of gumbo, and
Love
they were
gumbo.
all so good.
You get some oysters.
Oh, had a bunch of oysters.
I love oysters.
Did you do
Yeah.
one of those oyster shots?
No. We only drank the first night. You know, we haven't been drinking for a while.
Right.
And we drank the first night, and then it like ruined our second day
Oh.
because we haven't been drinking for so long. So it was like, all right, well we'll just stick to the THC drinks.
Tanner, that's
Were
called
there-
being 40.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
I'm fully on board with just how awful hangovers are.
Yeah,
they are.
at
They do
40.
suck.
I'm
They don't
not
get
ready.
better, by the way. It does not go the other way.
Right. I was just talking about it earlier today. When I was 21, I used to just take 2 Advil in the morning, and I was fine.
Some chicken
Now,
express.
like, I'm down for 2 days.
You guys are not making me excited as the baby of this show.
Hey, man.
There's nothing to be excited about.
The situation is if you just keep drinking, you never have to worry. You just feel
If you
a
just
little
machine.
drunk all the time.
Yeah, my dad says maintain the 7-day buzz on the cruise.
That's
The
it.
goal. Maintain the buzz.
When I went on my honeymoon last year, that's what we did. We just stayed drunk the whole time, and it was great. Then I came home and was like, well, this is miserable.
Yeah.
This
Well, I
is
think because when
icky.
you're on vacation, you make it work. You're ready. There's something instinctual. Like, no, I gotta keep going.
That's true.
You get
That's
here, you're
true.
like, I gotta take PTO.
yeah.
PTO.
Yeah.
Sick day.
Yeah.
I don't even
Personal
have
day,
those. I don't have any of
wellness
those.
day.
Oh, man.
Speaking of drinking adventures, Charlie, what did you do?
So Friday night, yes, so Friday night was chill. Friday night I went to Stoney's Wine Lounge to see the K. Ellingston Group, jazz group. Always love following them. Shout out to K. Ellingston Group. I've never been there. Nice little wine bar, very chill. So just had like a glass of red wine, went home. Saturday though was a whole different.
Did you get turned?
You know,
Turned down for
was
what?
It was a day. It was a day. I mean,
That'll happen.
we'll get into the UFC here in a little bit, but it was electric. I think it was just like, still there's something sports related going on. It was such a good night of fights, and people who don't really care about fighting also surrounded. So everyone's just energy, and there's a DJ.
Yeah.
So Charlie had his fun.
Hell yeah, Charlie.
Nothing
Didn't
wrong with
lose my
that.
voice, so that's good.
Thank God.
Right?
As we were all screaming after that big knockout.
That's a big money maker for you.
Yeah, it is. I don't know about big money, but
Hey,
It's my money maker.
It's seldom that an artist's audience finds them in their lifetime.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our case.
Maybe. Maybe. Brandon, what did you get into this weekend?
So Friday night, met up with some buddies, went over to Bankhead Brewery over in Rowlett, and then walked over to Brick and Bones, which I've never been to. That place is pretty cool.
Ooh.
And
I do like Brick and Bone.
just hung out with some guys that I haven't hung out with in a minute, right? So some good friends. And then Saturday, just went to Lakewood Growler and
Shout out.
had a nice little afternoon there.
Little sesh.
Yeah.
Do they have so many good beers?
Yeah, that is my favorite beer bar around here just because they do have a good, nice rotation of things coming in. So I always look at their little screen and I'm like, ooh, that one's almost gone. Let's grab that, right? Like you can tell where it is on the keg.
You got a fave these days?
No, beers are like baseball cards for me.
Okay.
I like that.
So
That's
I
cute.
used Untapped, so I just drink it once and check it in, and then there's no need to have that beer again. Now, sometimes you come to places that over and over again and you add them all, so you just drink your regular stuff. But when I go to something like Lakewood Growler, I'm normally just saying, I haven't had that before, so let's check it in, and I'll get the next one in a minute.
So you're a beer adventurer.
Yeah, I'm at like 2,500 different beers.
What?
Yeah.
Wow!
Stop.
That's
Holy
like my lift
mackerel.
rides.
Yeah, hang on. I can get an
You
exact
should
count
share
for
your
you.
Untapped in the Discord.
Yeah,
I would love to
please
see
do
what
that.
you've been
I,
drinking.
I had no idea
I-
this was a thing.
Did you ever do flying saucer and get a plate?
I never got a plate. I'm probably at about 30 beers there, so I have a decent number, but I just never. I'm at 2713.
2713.
beers.
Oh my God!
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Way
Yeah.
to go, dude.
Oh well, sometimes I'm getting a flight, and it's just like
Yeah.
That's
Tick
your
'em all. I
flight,
mean,
yeah.
that's
10 pound,
Doesn't
10 ounce
matter.
pour, right?
This,
Even if they're all flights, that's still 500 beers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Andre the
500
Giant over
flights.
here.
It's expensive.
Wayne Boggs.
Oh
how
my God.
how long have you been tracking this?
Oh, it will tell you. I've been a member since May 23rd, 2015.
Okay.
So
Okay.
a decade.
So 10
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
moves, dude.
That's
Yeah.
270
a
beers.
lot
a
of-
I
year.
remember at 2000, I was in St. Louis. So that was a nice little milestone.
It's a
But
good little beer spot.
at 1000, I was in London.
Oh,
Nice.
So it just seems like every 1,000 mark, I'm traveling somewhere.
That's the way it should
Yeah,
be.
and I do not do that on purpose.
Yeah, well, Mr. 3000.
I
Yeah.
know.
Where
I
we're gonna
got
go.
like
We have
280
to. We have to plan your 3,000th beer.
left. So, yeah.
Maybe we'll go to New Orleans.
I mean, I'm up for that.
Maybe that's your Buffalo
Or you want to hit Denver up
winter game.
every corner. You'll hit 3,000.
Yeah, there's probably a lot I've already checked in from Denver, though.
Man, I just remember being there and I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. Oh, here's another brewery. All right.
Yeah, those breweries are always rotating their beers,
Yeah.
right? So they have new stuff by now, I'm sure.
Nice.
Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, we got quite an agenda today. Let's take a look here. We've got
We
got
got. Let's.
the draft.
Yeah, we got basketball things with the Mavs and the Wings.
Uh-huh.
We've got hockey things, Stars making some moves and bringing in a new coach. We have Texas Rangers, as we get closer to All-Star, what's happening with them. They had a great series with the Mariners, not just because I was in the audience yesterday, and all of those games went to extras. We can talk about that.
Yeah,
And
you were at the game yesterday.
I was at the game yesterday.
How's that feel, man? I hadn't been out there.
It's beautiful, and we got the best deal on tickets. We were sitting right behind home plate in the second level,
Oh,
and
Nice.
our tickets were $44.
nothing
Wow,
wrong with
not
that.
bad.
That's amazing.
That's one of the best views in baseball I have ever had.
Yeah.
You can literally see everything down to balls and strikes. You can call your own game. I love it. I'm
That's
here
nice.
for it. I went with my best friend Natalie, her husband Craig, and their son Casey. Casey is 5 now.
Oh, wow.
And loves baseball.
Was this first game?
This kid, no, he's been to so many games,
Oh,
and he
okay.
plays t-ball.
Oh, okay.
But he knows his baseball, and he
That's
knows
awesome.
players, and he knows how to read the scoreboard and double plays, and it's really cute. It's really, really cute.
I took my
That is
5-year-old
super
nephew
cute.
to a game last year, and he does not know that. Literally, in the 5th inning, I look at him like, "Do you know what's going on?" He's like, "No."
No,
idea.
This kid was like, he wouldn't leave my side. He wanted all the popcorn, and he wanted to talk about everything.
Oh, Griffin wanted all the popcorn.
So here's a cute story. Like I said, these games went into extras. Yesterday's game went to 11 innings. 11 innings. And when we got into extras, Casey was like, okay, rally hat. And so he would change the direction of his cap, and so I would copy him, and every different batter, we would change the direction of our hats. And just, it was so
Nice.
cute.
Cutie patooties.
Kids are the best.
Yeah.
Kids at sporting events.
At that age, it's great watching them just absorb everything.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I love that. So after we talk Rangers, the big thing that happened, like Charlie alluded to, was UFC 317. But I want to start with the Mavericks and these blue concoctions in front of us.
We got blue balls.
So,
First.
Yes. Tanner. What?
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
You can do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pouring Takes. We have ad space available for you. Reach us anytime. You can come be on our show and tell us about your product. We can read copy for you. We can enjoy a tasty beverage with you. We can do whatever you'd like. We're desperate. Be our friend, please.
Yeah, don't give us blue balls.
Yeah.
That's right. Admin at pouringtakes.com. Admin at pouringtakes.com. Be seen by all of our followers all the time.
You know who didn't give us blue balls?
Who's that?
The Mavs.
That's right.
Yeah.
So before we take these shots, let me set this up. Let me do the thing I do. Mavericks picked number 1 overall in this draft. As predicted, we got Cooper Flag. As the Instagram handle kept saying, flag captured, flag planted.
So many puns.
If I hear another flag pun, I'm going to lose it.
Oh, they're not going to stop.
Oh, yeah. We just got started.
Yeah, so I want to say cheers to the Mavericks for doing the right and obvious thing. And I'm also going to throw this in there. Today it was announced that Paige Beckers is a WNBA All-Star starter.
Nice.
Hey,
Awesome.
there we
Rookie
go.
year.
So,
Bucket.
Dallas basketball lives and breeds. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Happy.
Tanner.
All right. I don't know what that was, but
So, again, that was called Blue Balls. So, definitely,
Coconut in there.
Coconut.
There is some
I was going to say
coconut.
Malibu. Is
Malibu.
What,
Malibu.
so, it tastes to me like Malibu, blue curacao, and maybe some Sprite.
There you
Yeah.
go.
It
There you
seemed
go.
pretty simple.
By the way,
Shout out Marissa. She is the one that
Shout
made
out
those for
Marissa.
us.
taking care of us.
Amazing staff here at Underdog. Always down for my shenanigans.
Hey,
That's
Rhea,
right.
do you think Cooper Flag will go to Flagpole Hill?
Stop it. Just stop it.
You're about to be in timeout, Charlie.
We're going to have to go send you to the bar to go get another round of shots if you keep this
Yeah.
up.
Well, that's not abnormal for me.
Yeah, not out of character.
All right, so let's kick off with NBA draft. How are we feeling after draft day?
Well, I mean, I felt good that it happened because you don't know. You think it should be a no-brainer. It should be a no-brainer, but the way this year has gone so far, the last couple months, yeah. But it happened, and I was stoked. I was super excited how things went down. I saw a couple of undrafted free agents that we picked up as well.
We got an SMU guy.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Yeah, fill out that roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Summer League is going to start in about 10 days. Can you all believe it? It is June 30th, as Tanner said before. July,
know.
literally tomorrow. Summer League, I believe, starts on the 10th-ish, 8th or 10th, something like that.
Don't
Somewhere
give me the
around
line.
there.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, so it's moving, guys. It's moving. Any stories from draft night that you guys are kind of like, ooh, that was a bad pick, or what were they thinking? Anything for any team?
Man, I was just such on a high just to have that pick. Just couldn't believe. Surreal. I felt good about a lot of the picks. I mean, now I'll be honest, I'm not like some draft expert when it comes to NBA, and like it was a pretty young draft though. I mean, everyone's like 18, 19.
Absolutely, yep.
So a lot of young future stars. No, I don't think anything was too shot. At least from what I saw, I'd have to go back. I'm sure there's people that were like, no, that kind of surprised me. But
Yeah, I kind of looked at the grades people
Yeah.
gave. Not that I really knew anything about it. Like if I was like, I agree or disagree, I don't really know.
yeah,
I know the NBA draft's a little different than the NFL draft the top 2 to 3, maybe 4 are expected to like be impact players, and then after that, it's just kind of taking a flyer on somebody that may or may not. And usually each draft has a player or two a little further down. It's just, were you the lucky one to pick them, right? Like, were you the one that grabbed Jokic or Steph Curry?
Do you ever look at old drafts and you see like those top 5? Let's just stick to the 5. And you look at them 2 years from then, or 3, 5, whatever it is, because, you know, the NBA Instagram handle will do this. And you see some of these rando names that pop up and they didn't amount to anything. Like, I feel like that only happens in basketball. I feel like that is just so wild. It's 50-50 across the board.
More variance.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I thought, outside of us drafting Cooper Flag, I really liked what San Antonio did. I actually fully expected San Antonio to trade that pick, and they didn't. So I think they're doing a great job investing in their future. They are going to be a force in the Western Conference for the next 5-10 years.
Once Dallas won the lottery, I guess I lingered on some photo from San Antonio Spurs fan too long, because then it got part of my algorithm on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it just had these Spurs fans all saying, see, this is why Dallas needs to trade the pick. They need a point guard, so they need to get Dylan Harper, and they'll trade us Cooper Flag. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
We're not that dumb.
No. Yeah, I mean, Nico's done dumb things.
Yeah.
I think, like, you said a minute ago, like, we all have a little PTSD.
Absolutely.
But I did feel very confident he was going to do the right thing and take
Man,
Cooper.
if you don't think every owner in the NBA sat Nico down and say, listen, guys.
No.
Well, our
y'all
owner
better
did.
get this shit together.
Do your conspiracy alarm right now, because
Okay, conspiracy alarm. We'll insert a sound effect later. Here it is.
The Las Vegas Mavericks.
because I think when the Luka trade went down, this was part of the deal. I really think Adam Silver told Nico, you get this done and you will be rewarded, because we need the press, we need the attention, we need Luka in a major market. So make this happen, and I think this was the trade-off.
Oh, it
Well, and the bad
points that way,
PR.
but that is so illegal.
Yeah.
It's absolutely illegal, but who gives a fuck?
Right?
Hey,
I got a felon
I
in
said
office.
this.
Who
No,
gives a shit?
all signs point to be like, yeah, that's
Right or
probably
wrong,
happened.
I'm happy we got it.
Yeah, but I'm not complaining.
I'm just saying, I definitely feel some type of way about it. I was actually texting with one of my good friends, Kimberly. She's a huge Mavericks fan, half-season ticket holder, all the things. And I said, we were 10th. We were a play-in team.
Yeah.
We had no business having the number 1 pick.
No way.
This feels so icky to me. But
I'll take it.
I just have to move on. I just have to take it. But let's just say, I just feel a little gross about it.
I used to get walkovers in wrestling, and I would act so. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, I get it. It does feel, but I mean, that backlash, that hostility, the NBA couldn't take that.
No, 100%. It needed to happen to our fan base, the Mavericks fan base.
We needed something
more than Nico, more than the Mavericks organization. The
Y'all are
fan
some thirsty
base.
ass hoes.
No, I want Cooper. I mean, here's, I'll
getting
take it.
mad
I'll
thirsty
admit,
there,
I'm thirsty. This is why I'm drinking my St. Arnold's lawnmower, by the way.
Oh, shout out St. Arnold.
But no, I mean, like, I'm super stoked that it is real, and it's surreal, but it's real, and I feel fired up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm moving forward. I'm being positive.
Couldn't be me.
So I'm ecstatic.
I'm not buying a Lakers jersey. I think I'm back on board. I'm still going to root for that Slovenian over there.
Yeah.
But I'm back on board with the Mavericks. We're going to have a dangerous team once Kyrie comes back.
Yeah, he's a stud.
You guys, I really am. I'm hoping for the best and bracing for the worst. I am worried about these injuries. I'm worried about how many games AD is actually going to play. I'm worried about these free agency signings that are coming through. Just in today, literally an hour while we were driving over here, D'Angelo Russell, 2-year deal. D-Lo. With the Mavs, good move. I'm okay with this move.
Yeah, I'm
very
fine.
much
I'm
okay
fine
with
with it. $13 million.
But we've got aging veterans on this team. And that is a concerning red flag to me, given what the state of the Western Conference looks like. Again, hoping for the best, but absolutely expecting the worst. And
Yeah.
this is why I'm a Dallas sports fan.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Well,
It
that's
is peaks
the
and
title.
valleys.
It is peaks and valleys. No, I mean I'm right there. I'm hoping for the best. You did mention that. I mean, I think, can AD stay healthy? Can Kyrie come back and stay healthy?
Yeah.
Like,
Age doesn't stop for anybody.
Can Clay stay healthy? That's another one. Like, can Derek Lively, who's young, who's just had a huge injury, like
Gafford.
that's always going to be Gafford. Yeah, there's a lot, but I will tell you.
You play your cards right, you could be starting for the Mavericks this year.
I mean, I'm at the right age.
Me too.
But I'm hopeful, and I'll at least list something big has happened. They're doing something here in free agency as well. So this team, if can stay healthy, like you said, can be forced, and that's what I'm gripping on to. I definitely think that excitement, though, comes back to AEC. So
I agree. I mean, AD's nickname is not an ironic nickname of street clothes, right? It's
Yep.
his nickname is street clothes because he's hurt all the time.
Yep.
street
Like,
clothes
They
desire.
didn't call him tiny because he's a big guy, like an ironic nickname. That's
Yeah.
not what it is.
I can't
I
believe
thought
that.
his nickname was the Brow.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
that-
Sorry,
that-
AD.
A man can have many nicknames.
Yeah, there's
He is big. He is very tall.
like LeBron has like 12 nicknames.
Yeah.
right.
Well,
He's King James. How many other nicknames does he have?
I've seen a list. I don't know him.
by the
He
way,
has a lot of songs.
by the way,
I
you
love
know-
all his music.
You know how they were talking about, Luka's out of shape, all this. I don't think that would be Cooper Flag. However, he got his taste of Whataburger. So, yeah. And he's ready for some barbecue and Tex-Mex.
He's been on the media tour, which has been cool.
Yeah.
He was at the Wings game when they played at the American Airlines Center, which we'll get into in our next segment.
Shouts out
he-
Paige.
He legitimately looks happy to be here, which
Yeah.
I'm all for. But like I said, I'm always going to be the queen of anxiety. But let me ask y'all about another in-state rival, because a trade broke right before the
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah.
Houston Rockets getting Kevin Durant and sending away a top player in Jalen Green. What are they thinking in H-Town?
They want KD. They want that bring back UT. They want some of that Texas, that veteran. I'm not saying whether it's right. I'm just saying they're looking for that big marquee veteran to come in. I'm kind of surprised it was the Rockets, though.
Yeah, the Rockets weren't my number one team on that list
Yeah.
of where's KD going. It doesn't shock me because I do think they're aggressive.
Yeah.
They're an aggressive team that knows they're on the progression of getting better, right?
Yeah.
They need to take the next step. I personally don't think it was a bad trade on Houston's part. Jalen Green, I think, is a pretty good player, but you can find Jalen Greens, in my opinion. Like, KD is a unicorn. Now, is he a unicorn past his prime? That's a different conversation, right?
That's what I'm leaning into.
Yeah, and I again, age doesn't stop for anybody, but he is still pretty good, and it adds this complexity to Houston now that where they were already a problem, I think they're more of a problem now.
I think they did get better with the trade. I expect KD to play a good number of games this season for them. They were the number 2 seed in
Yeah.
the playoffs. I do expect that they will stay in that top 3 bracket in the Western Conference.
Well, here's something. Before this whole lottery and Cooper Flag, he was a strong name out there to look out for. But he still ends up in Texas, back where I think he kind of wants to end his career.
Yeah, I think he had to pretty much. I know he was shocked, found out about it on stage or whatever.
Fanatics Fest. Yeah.
But I think he had probably a list of approved teams.
Yeah, as most megastars do,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, Houston was definitely on there. San Antonio would have been on there.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Dallas would have been.
Actually,
right?
Dallas was not one of the last
Really?
teams listed.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they all were, but I remember Dallas not being on the list. I think there were
Fine.
5 teams.
Fine, KD.
I mean, I can do
No,
without.
no,
I
it
know.
wasn't. No, I'm not talking about Katie's list. I'm talking about the teams that
Oh.
actually called and inquired.
Yeah, no.
Dallas
Yeah.
was not one of those
Dallas
teams.
doesn't have many trade assets,
No.
right? They don't have any picks, and they weren't going to trade Cooper Flag.
Absolutely.
Um,
Thank God.
Like, their trade assets are like Jaden Hardy, right? Like, and that's
you could
not
argue that
going
Derek
to get-
Lively's an asset that
Yeah.
could be traded.
Gafford probably more than Lively. I think Gafford's new contract extension opens the door for him being traded.
What
I
about
thought
PJ?
about that too.
What?
PJ Washington.
Yeah, PJ would definitely be a trade asset, but I would want to get something pretty good back because I do like PJ way more than, no offense against Gafford, but I think if you already have Lively and a KD,
Yeah.
like you're already really big, you could probably stand to get a little more speed in the guard position. I would prefer trading someone like Gafford over a PJ. I think PJ's perimeter defense is much needed for this team.
Well, we will stay tuned and we'll watch Summer League and we'll do all the things, but I want to stay in the basketball realm real quick and touch on the Dallas Wings playing a game at American Airlines Center, and there was a curveball. There was an
Yeah.
absolute curveball with Caitlin Clark having to sit out with a groin injury.
Yeah.
We knew this about 24 hours before tip-off. She sat out of the game before. They were playing the LA Sparks. I started looking at tickets. So, for full context, when this game was announced right after the draft, tickets were going for a minimum of $300. I'm talking nosebleeds for $300. Who is ridiculous enough to do that? Not me. Not me for this. So, as soon as I hear there's a chance that Caitlin Clark's not going to play, I said, oh, everyone will be selling those tickets because
Yeah.
they're coming to see Caitlin Clark. But let me tell y'all, I was surprised. I was really surprised. I started tracking prices. I saw it go down to $175 after she sat out from the Sparks game. Day of, I am checking every hour on the hour. I'm looking to spend $60 to $75 max.
Yeah,
Never hit that range.
really?
Never.
That actually does shock me a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm happy you didn't.
And if you see the Instagram videos, TikTok videos, they had over 20,000 in attendance. So shout out
Pretty awesome.
Dallas sports fans
There you go.
for sticking to your guns and still going to the game without Caitlin Clark playing.
Fly, Wings, fly.
Wings did not win that game. Fever did
we
win.
don't win any games.
Well, I think
They did go on a little bit of a
saw this.
winning streak after I
Yeah.
talked my shit.
yeah.
So what,
They
5
started
wins
hitting up-
now? They have like 5, right?
Yeah, so they're no longer dead last in the WNBA.
Hey,
There's 2 other teams with 5 wins right now. The Sky and I forgot and the Sparks. The Connecticut Sun are currently the worst team in
Yeah.
the league with only 2 wins. But you're starting to see them put this thing together a little bit. We're about halfway through the season. But I just want to say, like, the energy in all the videos and the TV, like, that was at American Airlines Center was really beautiful to see. People were really into the game, whether they were cheering for the Fever or the Wings. Like, I didn't think in my lifetime I would see a crowd like that for a WNBA game in Dallas, Texas.
Hell
Just
yeah.
saying. And that I wasn't there. I should have been there.
Well, it's good that the prices
you'd have
didn't go
to-
down. That means people are
That's what
actually
I'm saying.
Yeah.
invested, and that's good. So when I said I'm glad it didn't, it wasn't like, oh, Rhea didn't get a chance to go.
No,
It
no,
was more of,
totally. I
Well-
agree with you.
well, that just shows the energy that we've seen in the past year, and then I think you add in Paige too. Everyone's excited about coming in here in Dallas, so I'm glad that it's still going and it's going to keep growing. And so I'm excited with the future here, and especially when they move closer into Dallas in the next year?
It's debatable right
It's
now.
debatable.
Everything is kind of on
Up in
hold.
the air.
Construction timelines are tricky.
Oh,
But I will say this: you asked me a question
I did.
last time about potential head coaching candidates.
Yes, let's hear it.
So there is an assistant coach on our bench. Her name is Nola. I forgot her last name, but I just started following her on TikTok. But she's like the head assistant coach under Chris Manbun, whatever his last name is.
Chris Manbun.
Loserville.
Oh, I hate him. So she was actually on the staff with the Sparks.
Okay.
And she worked with our new, I believe he's either the president or the GM, Kurt Miller. So Kurt Miller came over from the Sparks and took the job with the Wings and brought Nola with him. She is a name to watch out for. If for any reason they get their shit together and they say, Chris Manbun, get out, this is your woman. This is your lady. She is going to come in, guns a-blazing. And I'm really excited to see if they go in that direction. I would love them to go in that direction because, again, even with the wins that have come by in the last few games, I still don't see a legitimate strategy out of this team. I mean, when they played, I think it was either Golden State or Vegas. I can't remember which team it was. You had 2 rookies just popping off on ISO because Paige was out for the game. And Enrique had a great game, but nobody knows about it because, like, it just doesn't, like, it doesn't do a good job of showcasing everybody's talent. It's like a game of hot potato with this team. Like, whoever's got the ball, just go. And sometimes those shots fall, and sometimes they don't. So I am hoping, somehow, some way, I am praying to the WNBA gods that some sort of ball movement, player movement, legitimate strategy comes through in the next few weeks. We are almost at the All-Star game, and like I said, Paige is an All-Star, not just an All-Star, a starter.
Nice.
The only rookie to do so in this class, by the way.
Nice.
So I'm just hoping they can make some magic happen. Maybe, you know, just have a good season. Give us something good to watch.
Get some goddamn play behind that ball. It feels like everybody's just phoning it in.
I think they're all exhausted. They look, like I said in the last episode, they look so dejected. And I actually had this conversation with with Natalie's husband, Craig. I had this conversation with Craig yesterday. Like, he went back and he listened to last week's episode before he saw me. And then he was like, yeah, I've been watching these games and I fully agree with you. Nobody looks like they want to be there.
Yeah.
And they should want to be here. Mm-hmm. This is a great basketball city, and Chris is not giving us that. So
yeah, it's pretty rough. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I think some leadership needs to get in there and start, as you would say, get in that ass.
And actually, or have some good strategy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that.
It's not a wanted enough situation. It's that nobody knows what to do next, and without a head coach, it's worth them. You know.
You need to start taking signs to games that say "Fire Man Bun."
Yeah.
Let's start the movement. Let's
Fire
fucking
Nico,
go.
Fire Man Bun.
Fire the
Buns
man
it.
bun.
Buns out.
Tickets are gonna be pretty
Buns
cheap.
out.
No, they still sell out every game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Shout out the lesbians of the DFW area.
And there's a lot of them.
You guys come out strong, and I
That's
love
right.
you for it. All right, let's get into some hockey. Dallas Stars. We have a new head coach along with, guys, I have to have a moment here before we get to the head coach. As you know, my second favorite player on the team was my Dallas Stars crush. Every time he took the ice, my heart skipped a beat. This man has electric green eyes and a mustache to die for. And now
Sleeve
he
tattoos.
plays. No sleeve tattoos. He
Oh,
now
different
plays.
guy.
He now plays for the Seattle Kraken.
Oh, never mind. I thought we were
No,
talking
when
about-
she said mustache, I go Marchment. She's
yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about Marchment.
Mason Marchment
Oh.
is now gone. My heart is a little broken, which means Jamie Benn, I'm all yours.
He's got more of a beard.
Hey.
Ben's
Well,
got
Jamie
more
Ben
of
is
the beard.
re-signed, so he's here for at least one
One more year. He
Yeah.
sent me that, and I was like, that is the way to do it. That is how you treat your veterans, your longtime players. You do not trade them at the end of their careers. Just give them the veteran minimum and call it a day. He's going to wear the C for one more year, and I am here for it.
Yeah, I think Marchment was the casualty of re-signing Duchesne.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was. Absolutely.
So once they re-signed Duchesne, somebody had to go, and you got 2 picks for Marchment, which I like Marchment. I
Yeah.
think he brought this unique toughness,
Yeah.
but he also brought some boneheadedness.
Yeah, and I think
the
that
hot
cost
ones are
him.
always
Yeah.
dumb. You
Yeah.
know this.
I think
It just
They don't
seemed
have to be
like
smart.
every time
pretty.
he went to the
Pretty.
penalty box was what's quite often the other team would score.
I would
Yeah.
hang out with him in the penalty box.
I know.
there,
you would,
there it
Rhea.
is. You don't even have a drink
Hey,
anymore.
You've been a bad girl.
No, it's like you've been a bad boy.
Go to
You're
the
in
penalty
trouble.
box.
So we'll.
You're
I guess they
in
haven't
timeout.
officially made it official just yet. I think it's close to the deal.
Yeah,
No,
I don't
it's
think
done.
it's signed,
It's
but
done, I thought.
I don't see a
yeah, I
there's
haven't
no
seen no
official
nu- I
but
haven't
it's
seen any
closing
numbers.
too. Yeah, there's
Okay.
no number, but they're probably finalizing. I mean, it is.
agreed
But
upon.
he is the guy. Craig Gullickson.
Yeah.
Clint Gullickson he was here in 2011 to 2013. Unfortunately, did not work out. To be fair, that was a terrible roster.
Yes.
That was a horrible time to be a head coach. And since then, he was the Flames head coach, and he's been an assistant with the Oilers. He's known to work well with stars. I mean, McDavid. It is a little awkward, though, because when Jim Neal took over, that's when he got the axe. So,
little backslide action.
I wonder how that conversation.
I was gonna say,
little backslide action with an X.
It
happens.
I was gonna say, did y'all find that to be a little weird that they didn't go and get somebody new, fresh?
I
and
thought it was
exciting?
going to be a Neil Graham. I really, really did. Just what he's done with the Texas Stars. He's already helped a lot of these prospects. He's coming up to the roster, which they look great. But maybe what they saw, what he's been doing with the Oilers and just the veterans and how he acts with just stars. That he got a bad rap. He had a bad roster. He's had time to really grow and mature.
Yeah, everybody gets better at their craft after time. Like that just happens. I think this shows a couple of things. I think one, it shows you how dysfunctional the locker room was after the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like I think DeBoer had to go. I don't think there was any question to that because I think it also shows there wasn't a huge head coaching market out there. I think most teams had already hired that were needing. It left the Stars pretty much alone as the only team searching.
They waited till after the draft, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, I think because they already had an idea. Here's one.
I'm sure.
Here's one. Jamie Benn was on that roster. So
I was
Jamie,
just thinking it.
So
He was a
Jamie
rookie, right?
had to. He was a rookie in 2009.
Oh, okay.
Or 2010. Sorry, 2010.
So it was like second-year player.
Second year. So still pretty young. And he played with them with the Calder Cup in that team. So I think this was just like Dak and Shoddy. Like, I think this was probably a Jamie Benn move coming back in his final year. Like, I think he signed off. I really.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not just my
that.
take. I was listening on the radio this morning. Like, I think they make this. But I think others sign off. But
So my question then is, now that we have the coach, the one star up in the air is Jason Robertson.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to happen to him now that we have a new coach?
I think they resign him.
they need a vet like him.
I think for him to be on the trade market, I think something would need to really wow them, and I don't think anything came across. So Jim Neal's probably going to just re-sign him, to an extension, and maybe something
I'm
comes
curious.
up later.
Our biggest hole is still defense,
Yeah.
right? And we have the least amount of cap space left this season. I feel like there is a move that needs to be made. Not necessarily with Robo, but I still think something else has to go down.
Yeah, I don't think they're done with their moves, but I don't think Jason Robinson's going to be a part of it unless they get a big fish back, a big defenseman name. But I think he's a 40-goal scorer like 3 years in a row, and we forget that when he kind of flames out a little bit in the playoffs and doesn't have the stats to back up his regular season stats, he still scores 40 goals in the regular season. That's
you can
pretty
say
good.
the same for Wyatt this postseason.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I will say this: there are been talks in the last couple hours. What are they going to do with Granlund? He could come back. So
That's a defender, yeah.
So obviously it's safe to say CC's gone.
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
they're talking on here, just kind of keeping an eye out. So it's just moving things around. It may not be a big name. I think after seeing just first the Granlund CC and then Miko, getting that big, you're like, all right, I don't think we need really a big splash, because also I
don't think we need one.
Yeah, I think just give us some good supporting. If you can find it kind of like a Tanev, a little bit close to that.
Oh, I loved him.
I love Tanev. He was so good.
They obviously believe enough in Duchesne that, he could have a resurgence. You still have Thomas Harley, I believe, too. So he had a big year.
I think he is due for an extension.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Bishop's
guy
still
is
there.
an absolute star.
Yes. So I think they believe. Hey, look, I'll say this. Glenn Gooley, as his name is coming into a made roster.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really good situation. I think this is all about resurgence. This is going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
What would you guys consider to be a success in this new regime for next season? What is that benchmark for you?
I mean, I think they're going to still put it up as going to the Cup.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to go to the
you
Cup.
You can't take a step backwards. You could. You
Yeah.
obviously can take a step backwards, but for the view of the fans to be a success, it is not taking a
it
step
is
backwards,
it is
right?
cup or bust.
Yeah.
I don't think they necessarily have to win the cup, but they need to go to the cup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
It's not gonna be easy, but I'm gonna tell you the West is gonna look a little different, even especially with the Oilers and stuff for the moves. Like I said it, I think for the Oilers, still a great team, but that was their window right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose McDavid.
That's why I think Stars. Now's the time.
Yeah.
Like now's the time.
Well, thoughts and prayers.
Well,
Yeah.
Stars.
one last thing on the moves that were made. It was just announced that Jim Neal won
Exactly.
GM of the year.
Yes,
Congrats.
3 years
Cheers
in a
to
row.
that. Cheers to
So,
that.
in Jim Neal, I trust.
I do.
Right? Like, I trust he
Here,
knows what to
I
do.
do trust Jim.
I
Neal.
don't have any more alcohol.
Yeah, I don't have any either, but
Air high
I'm
fives.
rolling with you guys there,
So,
too.
head coach hire, I trust you.
Yeah.
Re-signing Duchesne, keeping Robo, whatever we're discussing, I do trust Jim Neal. He seems
Absolutely.
to know what he's doing, and I probably would not be as good of a job at that job as he is.
He listens and he gives the fans
Yeah.
too. Like he doesn't sell hope. I mean, he really gives us. He walks the walk.
Yeah, he's pretty good at his job. So
Just okay.
Yeah, just okay.
All right. Well, let's get into some baseball real quick. Like, I'm talking like 5 minutes of baseball because then we got to really get
it's
into
the
some
dog days
UFC
of summer.
stuff. So, Brandon, how are we feeling now?
About the same.
Our ERA is high,
Yeah,
but
our
we're still
pitching
below
is-
500.
Yeah. So I think this series that you went to yesterday with the Mariners, it was a good benchmark series and very unique. Actually, I saw a post that this is the first time since 2015 that a series of 3 or more games went to extra innings in every game. Right? That just
Crazy.
doesn't happen.
That is wild.
It was crazy.
So
I
that's
literally
pretty unique.
sat in my seat, and the first thing I say to Natalie, I said that this shit better not go to extras.
Yeah.
I jinxed us. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
This is
So
all your
sorry.
fault, Rhea.
So it means we're close, but they did win 2 of 3. And being the home team in extras for 3 straight games, you want to at least steal 2 of those. You have
Yeah.
last at bats, right?
I was really, really impressed. I totally forgot the extra innings rule when you get to start somebody on second base.
The ghost runner.
Yeah,
That's such a silly.
It's like the equivalent of playing 3-on-3 in hockey. Why?
It's weird. It's
I
weird.
don't know. It's fine.
It's not fun.
Just for y'all's context, going into extras, this game was tied 1-1. The final score was 6-4.
Yeah.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
Like, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that extra base runner, that ghost runner, does benefit, right?
Yeah.
But it tends to just be like 1 run scored, 1 run scored.
And you see the chess match, the strategy, the sack bunts, the intentional walks. It's kind of poetic in a way. Like, I hate it, but at the same time, I'm like sitting there like a fucking nerd, being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I understand this move."
You're not a nerd. But coming from somebody that understands and appreciates all of it, you're not a nerd.
No,
Yeah.
Or you're a big nerd like me.
I am definitely a big nerd. I have a math degree. I'm definitely a nerd.
Yeah.
Nerds are good now.
But
No,
yeah,
I'm cool with it.
we're in.
I collect
It's a
baseball
good
cards.
candy too.
I'm a nerd.
But yeah, I saw the Mariners still carry around their Triton, like, for
They have
all
a
their
bit.
games. I kind of hate it. I'm like, save that for the playoffs. Why are we doing this in July or June? It's
Well, a lot of
ridiculous.
teams
Do you
now.
hate fun?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, a lot of teams have that bit after a home run's hit. In the dugout, they'll do something like the Reds have this like Viking helmet. So like
Yeah.
if Ellie hits a home run, he's walking through the dugout in this Viking helmet. The Rangers don't do anything like that. I kind of wish they would because
I wish
that'd be
they
kind
would.
of fun.
They wear like a horse head.
No!
There's 162
You guys-
games.
You guys
Rhea.
remember in the 2010 year?
Fawn Antler?
They did the antlers.
Yeah.
That
Hell
was
yeah.
fun because it was the playoffs.
I want us to
Oh,
be
they
like
did that all
Major
year.
League over here.
That's dope. I say save that shit for the playoffs. That's your moment to celebrate. That's when
But
you're
we're
on
not
the
going to
biggest
the
stage.
playoffs.
There's 162 games. They got to do something,
Yeah.
right?
Baseball's still.
I mean, they do the walk-off cooler splash. I'm cool with that.
They should have a dunk tank.
They should have it.
You and your dunk tank. Nah.
Put
Out
Bochy
the-
in there.
Yeah, like
Nah,
get rid of Rangers captain and put a dunk tank in.
Perfect. Put captain in the dunk tank.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Craig
poor
would be real
baby.
happy about that.
Poor baby. No, I am not a fan
I
of
can
these
go where I can go out
celebrations.
there with assless chaps.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Okay, I need sunglasses.
We don't
'cause I'll
have
be
Pride
blinded by
Week
the sun.
here. We don't have a Pride Month game.
I did
No.
hear something on that note. It's funny that the Baltimore Orioles, who we're playing right now, have started to troll the Rangers because every year when they do their Pride Night, it's when the Rangers are in town
And that's
on purpose.
Do you guys know the story from last year with the Mets? When they changed to the Pride logo is when they started winning games and eventually propelled
heard
themselves
that.
into
There
the
you go.
playoffs. Pride Month's a thing. Pride games are important, and I'm
Yeah.
upset we don't do them here. I'm
Yeah.
really upset about it.
It is sad.
It just makes the Rangers look bad.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? Like, it's a bad look. Just, do it, right?
Hey, man. Celebrate.
Yeah,
Get out there.
celebrate it.
Who's having a big time? The gays at the game. Man.
100%.
They're having a good time.
Well,
100%.
how many more weeks till All-Star game?
2.
2.
I think it's the 17th.
Who-
Sounds right, but now that I'm questioning it.
Who from the Rangers do you think is going to be our person?
I think Josh Smith has a chance. DeGrom.
I'm leaning towards DeGrom.
DeGrom definitely,
Oh, for sure.
actually.
Especially that shutout the other no hitter.
Molly probably had a shot, but now that he's on the IL, probably
Yeah.
not. They may name him, and then he just doesn't play, and then there's a replacement. It's a way to get like another player on there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
July 15th is the
Yeah, it was
All-Stars.
close.
And then my only other question for All-Star Week is, will El Bombi participate in the home run derby?
I don't know because I'm
hurt or
actually
something?
a fan of. You have to be in the All-Star game to participate, or the All-Star game has to be at your home location. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that,
Oh.
but recently other players that are not an All-Star just participate. I'm like, that's kind of cheap.
I feel like he likes doing it, but he doesn't do well. And it bothers me.
Yeah.
It bothers me so much. I'm like, you're in control of everything. You know who's throwing you the pitches. You know what those pitches are going to look like. Why do you suck?
I just hate there's some players that actually it does mess there with their timing.
Yes, it
so
does.
then like the second half of the season they're just not as good.
That's one of the reasons why they won't let your guy, your kicker, kick from 60-plus yards.
Oh, yeah, man.
Brandon Aubrey.
Tanner, is your kicker Justin Tucker?
I was
Oh.
I was
No,
hoping that
Brandon Aubrey.
Dallas
Distance.
would have kicked a 70-yard field goal
Yeah.
in 2024.
I remember that.
That was the big bet. That was the long-term bet. And believe me, cannot wait for Cowboy season because we are going to have more long-term bets.
Oh,
And
I
those
can't
are my
wait.
favorite.
Yeah, so All-Star games in Atlanta, so Acuna will
Oh, I love
definitely
him.
be
Okay.
involved. You might actually even see a second participant like Matt Olson might join as well. I think Vlad will probably do it. He does it every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junior.
Yeah.
The Impaler.
Bobby Witt.
Bobby Witt will
Yeah,
probably do it.
big man,
for
Bobby
You
Witt.
sure.
won't see Judge or Shohei. I
Yeah.
just don't think they
No,
care
they
enough.
don't need it.
No.
It's like LeBron competing in the dunk
Oh,
contest.
Cal Raleigh, I
Yeah.
think, said he's going to do it. So that's Big Dumper.
Yeah, I got to see Cal.
That is
yesterday.
a fun nickname. Big Dumper is a fun
Big
nickname.
dumper.
Dumper.
All right.
It's like a
Well,
monster truck.
But dog days of baseball, I'm losing playoff hopes by the day. But
I'm good. Thank you.
I still want them to surge towards the end.
Well, we will see. Anything can happen after the All-Star game. We've seen crazier things.
Yeah.
All right. The last thing on our packed agenda today, UFC 317 took place in Vegas this past Saturday, where we saw Ilya completely destroy Charles Oliveira in the most heartbreaking fashion as a Charles Oliveira fan. Give me your thoughts right off the bat. Let's just start with that because that's the knockout everybody's talking about. I'm talking about 2 hooks, bang, bang, floor. What the hell happened?
Got him with that 2-3 combo. Yeah, I mean, he called his shot. He called his shot.
He celebrated the night before.
Yeah, he called his shot. I don't think we were fully surprised on how the result went. We were thinking maybe more TKO, maybe a submission. But, I mean, it did not take a whole lot of time. And even in those scrambles and the transitions on the ground, he just looked overwhelming to Charles. And the thing that's beautiful about Ilya is the way he does close the distance and the speed and the timing. And this is a guy, Charles, who, by the way, does not have a lot of losses by stoppage.
No.
Is a good striker himself. Not maybe the same boxer, but has the range, has good timing himself. Very durable.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Charles kind of wakes up when he
Yeah,
gets hit.
he did against Chandler in that first fight. But Ilya is the real deal, you know, and we need to see it at 155, right? These bigger, his speed, he's just going to be faster. He talked about he usually cuts around, he walks 179.
Oh, so this is his perfect weight.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But I can't believe he's cutting down that to 145. It's just crazy. Probably even bigger than that, probably 180, really. So, I mean, he looked so composed. He was smiling. The guy's got the swagger. I was texting it.
Oh, my God. He is beautiful.
He's beautiful. He can fight. It's unfair. And very well spoken, very respectful. He said, it's hard to fight a guy like Charles because you don't hate him, you know? Like, a lot of times fighters, they have to have that beef. They have to have that tension. There's only like a handful. You know, there's obviously a few out there that don't need that, but when you get to this level and to the title to sell, it's like it was hard, but it didn't matter. He still had the same engage and, knocks him out first
Charlie,
round.
Is this an example of women want him and men want to be him?
Exactly.
Oh, 1,000%. Oh, my God. So
He's got nice suits.
So I was watching the fight with Edna. And, you know, she's seen him before. You know, we watch a lot of fights between the two of us. He comes on in his walkout, and she goes, oh, my God. Who is this beautiful man? Like, he just has this, like, aura. Like, he's
Just
not
aura
even
farming.
my type, and I'm over here drooling over him.
Did you see the viewership over in Spain? It was the same as a Real Madrid game.
Yes.
Watching. They need to take this. You know what? I want it to be him versus Armand, but if you want a big set, him versus Patty in Spain.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Bringing Patty into the octagon. Okay, before I even say that, UFC, these last couple pay-per-views have done a really great job of cutting promos after these fights.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that change to?
TKO.
TKO.
Oh, no. I mean, the pro wrestling a little bit. But
Yeah.
apparently Dana was not happy about Patty. Should not have been in there. But here's the thing. The emotion, and you want to sell. Because here's the thing, and this is nothing against Armand. I do think he'll get probably the shot, maybe. But, and if not, he's right there. It's just stylistically, the Patty, you need to build these pay-per-views up. And if you want to go, and like, Ilya's a star.
Absolutely.
Ilya's a star. But he could be a bigger star if you go invest in him. I still don't feel like they've invested enough just yet in him. And not like Conor. But he doesn't have to be Conor. He's, like you said, he's handsome, but he's got that big crowd in Spain, which is huge. Do that fight this fall. If you can make it to Spain later this fall.
Oh, absolutely.
And you do the Patty just because England.
It's
that.
right there, yeah.
And then have Armand versus Justin Gaethje, because I still think they're mad a little bit at Armand for the back and all pulling out.
Yeah,
Well, and
agreed.
Gaethje's mad. Have them, and they fight next spring.
I mean, we've been talking about it all year, that the UFC right now is just fucking boring. These matchups are boring. What I saw in the cage after that fight was not boring.
Good.
That was exciting. I don't even like Patty the Batty, and I'd watch this fight. I'm here. I'm done.
Yeah, I
Sign
think-
me up.
She's here
But
for
I
it.
will say, I think Patty's in I think
Patty's definitely in trouble.
Ilya, but it's fun. It's fun, and it's all about the build-up, right?
And it's about these guys getting into that character
Yeah.
and like putting on an actual show within the show.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely here for it. The pushing and shoving, all of it.
Well, they've had
Loved
beef
it.
at
Loved
145
it.
before Ilya was a champion. So it is funny, Sugar Sean, you know, he called him out in 2021. He's like, I'm glad he didn't accept my call out. At least he's honest.
gosh.
But yes, huge win. Ilya is now the lightweight champion, makes history, 2-division champion. Excited. Whether it's Patty, whether it's Armand, Mighty Mouse thinks he only has 3 or 4 fights left before he rides off, because then he's clean. I don't see him going all the way up to 170. But and he doesn't need to. He's 28 years old, too.
Yeah.
He's actually where Conor was when Conor won the division.
I was gonna say it. They're like days apart in
Yeah.
age for winning 2 belts in 2 different divisions. So that's a cool correlation. I've said this a year ago. Ilya is going to be the face
Yeah.
of the UFC for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, between him being so fucking hot and a really good fighter, this is going to be fun, and the UFC needs to back this man.
Where do you
Back
think
that
he
ass up.
minimized his skill points if he's super hot and a super good
Well,
fighter?
he wrestling in Georgia, and I mean the country Georgia are just filled with beast wrestlers. The best wrestler. I mean, Georgia's one of the best wrestling countries, and I mean he just honed it and honed it and honed it and honed it, and he is part of this younger generation that they didn't grow up in Taekwondo. They didn't just grow up in they grew up in MMA, wrestling, but also MMA, and this is what you're seeing. And this is going to be the evolution coming up, which is exciting. And so you can't be one-dimensional, and that shows what Ilya just
So MMA is now its own specialized.
It pretty much is. I mean, you get a belt in jiu-jitsu, or you can get it at even Muay Thai, but kids are training in MMA.
I was gonna say.
No, that makes sense. The evolution makes sense.
Yeah, as a kid, like MMA was not an option. Right?
Yeah, it was like MMA fighters were trained in this, and they were boxers, or they were jiu-jitsu, or karate.
Now you got to be able to do it all.
Yeah,
but
now MMA is its own specialized.
Absolutely. I mean, they're talking about making it its own Olympic sport.
Yeah,
so.
they've been talking about that for a while. I mean, it's just great to see. But it's great to see. And honestly, when you watch Ilya, how he carries himself, there's nothing negative about it.
And his son.
Yeah,
oh my God.
And his training, of course.
His son looks exactly like him. And UFC posted a video, and they basically told him, they said, do what your dad did in the octagon, and he does the combo.
Yeah.
And it's adorable.
Awesome. So see the generation coming up. We're gonna have a bunch.
So I have maybe a dumb question, like as a novice here for UFC. How often do they fight?
So UFC's got an interesting structure. They usually do 1 to 2 pay-per-views a month. And then the rest of the weeks technically are fight nights, and these are those moments for the lower ranked fighters to make a name for themselves.
I'm talking about a specific fighter.
A specific fighter can fight anywhere from 3 to 4 times if they can stay healthy.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
I remember growing up in boxing, I was like, oh well, they fight like once every 18 months, right?
So used to the old dynamic, it was a lot less. There wasn't any fight nights. There was like one paper. It was like every 6 months, so it was a little harder. Now there is, and like she said, Kevin Holland, who's from Fort Worth, his first real year or two of UFC, he fought 6 times.
Okay.
And that's how you can make a lot more money.
So once every other month, probably.
If you can stay healthy.
If you stay healthy.
Of course.
That's the hardest
training
thing.
camp is brutal in itself. And then you could always have an accident happen in the octagon as well that could knock you out. So
also, you get the shit kicked out of you in a fight.
that's what I just said. In the octagon.
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
my bad.
There's a lot. There's just a lot. But it's even more important for the ones earlier, I think a guy like Ilya is pretty fine. I mean, fine, but
a guy like Ilya or any of these top-ranked fighters will fight maybe 2 to 3 times a year.
This is his
to
first
defend their
fight.
Once you're an established name, it
and then
comes back.
the better you are, the more money you make, obviously.
And when you're the champion, also depends on the card where they're trying to get it locked in.
And you kind of get to call your own shots as a champ.
Especially if you're him now and you're 2-time. Co-main event, real quick. Pantoja on a steamroll.
My God, that man is good.
He is. I mean, the only one to really keep competitive with him is Brendan Moreno. Moreno. And the unfortunate is we never got to see Mighty Mouse in him.
Yeah.
But another Brandon we saw, Joshua Van, who stepped in on short notice, ranked 12.
Can I tell you? I don't know. I was at Maple Landing for these fights, and the bar after Joshua Van got that decision win erupted.
Oh yeah.
Like, in what world does he was what, barely top 15 going into this
he was
fight?
number 12.
Number 12. Okay, so what world does 12 beat 1 and the entire bar is going fucking nuts?
I mean, and guess what? He'll be the first challenger of being born in like 2000.
Oh
Crazy.
my God.
And they also
he's 23 years old.
Shout out to the UFC for this one as well. He gets out of his fight. They say shower, change, and you're back out.
Yeah.
They put him ringside for this fight and brought him into the cage after Pantoja defends his belt, basically setting up, this is your next fight at flyweight.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, these flyweight guys, the way they move and how hard they hit, I think it's the most entertaining division in MMA, hands down. That's my personal opinion. I know small people aren't everyone's favorite, but I think they fucking fly and they fucking let it fly.
Well, they had such high stats that Brandon Ravel also got win money.
Yeah, fight of the that was
Yeah.
an amazing fight.
So, and that's what you want to see, and they're always ready to go. And so we'll get Joshua Van next. Congrats. And also, he was out running around the arena afterwards.
Also, Houston boy. He's
Houston,
one of
yep.
us.
Houston, there you go. He is Houston. So that was
Don't claim Houston.
Yeah, not one
that
of
was
me.
and hey, shout out Fortis MMA, welterweight, Jacoby Smith doing his thing over Nico Price, which I mean that guy's he's such a beast.
Okay, so I have so many thoughts about this fight, but I'm gonna keep this short as possible. Jacoby, you're a fucking killer. You are looking for a fight, essentially. Like, you are not afraid of anything, and I fucking love you for that. Nico did scare me. Nico's up kicks will always scare me.
Oh yeah, he's long range.
But shout out Jacoby for getting through that rough ending to round 1 and completely taking over in round 2.
Yeah.
Amazing work, amazing credit to the team at Fortis MMA. We got a lot of fighters fighting over the next few weeks, and I'm pretty fucking
I know,
stoked
and
about it.
now Stephen Wen is going to Abu Dhabi. He'll be
Yes,
on
he
that
is.
Whitaker D. Ritter card.
Sam
so shout out.
Hughes in Paris.
Yep, Shem who's in Paris. So we got Kennedy and Sujuku coming up on the 12th.
Oh, wow. See? It just never
So,
ends with our gym. Like,
yeah,
staying active. Ryan Span's got one, too.
Yep, Ryan Span's got one. Shout out, by the way, to amateur Charles Woods.
Charles Woods, my coach. Charles
is.
Woods, amateur
champ.
champ.
Yeah, so a lot going on MMA-wise.
Yes.
So, yeah, no, it was a fun night of fights. So, like I said, you could see the energy, especially when you have an ending like Ilya over Charles, which, by the way, love Charles. We all love Charles.
Ugh.
Sad to see that.
I feel like I need to buy you a shot because you picked Ilya and I picked Charles. So
Did you really? I thought you went with Ilya.
No, I just said he was really
Yes,
hot.
okay, I'll take that shot.
But
There you go.
I'm loyal. I'm very loyal to a fault, and Charles has been a longtime favorite fighter
know.
for me. So I was rolling with Charles.
I just saw with what, especially Holloway's another guy like Charles that rarely gets put away, if ever. Same length in that, and I said, well, if he could cut off that distance like that so quick, I think he could do it, Charles.
Well, this has been a really fun show.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we
It's gonna
literally
be bad.
touched all the bases. No pun intended.
Baseball.
We'll be back for all the All-Star games coming up. We got Baseball All-Star. We've got WNBA All-Star coming up.
We got a girls show coming up at some point.
We are working on Pouring Takes Presents Ladies Night next door at the winery. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, anything else you guys want to chat about before we sign off here?
Happy 4th of July this Friday.
Be safe.
yeah,
Don't blow your
holiday.
fingers off.
Yeah. Don't
Roman
put
candles are the
fireworks
devil.
on your head.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do it.
Check out Throwback Karaoke.
That's right. We're doing it every Wednesday, 9-ish till whenever-ish. It's pretty fun. Also, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, ads. Hey, everybody. Admin at pouringtakes.com. Come be part of the show. And let's share your product with the world. Or service. Whatever you're into, baby. It's showbiz.
Sounds
Showbiz,
good.
baby.
We will see you guys next time. Be safe, have fun, and happy summer, everybody.
Go team.
Have a good one.